Piling paper, got them talking nice to me. Down the bottle, it be going right through me. Brown baby down to take a flight to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me. Piling paper, got them talking nice to me. Guess that's why the labels want the rights to me. CD on my back and it feel light to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me.
Welcome back to the last episode of 2023 Boss Talk, your midweek pick me up for your gems and your jokes, for your advancement and your growth. We are glad to be back with you. If you've been here before, then welcome back. If you haven't been here, you came in at an interesting time, because this may be the last Boss Talk before it switches over to the high frequency show. I don't know, but it could be. I believe we've done this for 4 years, and we wanted to end this year with lessons and wisdom that we have acquired over this year. And we've been consistently dropping, minus maybe a few throwback episodes here and there, but there's always content on the Wednesday for the past 4 years, which is a feat. And I think it's cool. And I also think that at some point we need a break, and this might be it. Me and Cam haven't decided yet, but it could be. So if we take a little break, then you know why, if you're listening to this episode, because in order to come back bigger and better, we gotta, prepare for that. So without further ado, let's get into the lessons and wisdom that we learned for 2023. I want to start off with a question for you.
Here we go.
How did this year go anything like you expected at all?
So if I'm
there's a percentage maybe
reflecting on my goals.
Yeah.
One thing I did for this year that I didn't do last year. Last year I had a lot of goals.
Yeah.
This year I just wanted to condense that and maybe do 4 goals. And I think I did two out of the 4, or 3 out of the 4. I'm blanking out. I'm looking at it, but I definitely did one of the top ones, and that was go to 5 countries. No matter what 5 it is, just go to 5 countries. If I count layovers, I went to more than 5.
Absolutely.
But if I'm just counting, which I actually, was there for a little bit.
Yeah.
That was a big feat I wanted to do for sure.
Well, there you go. I want to start with this is probably one of my most valued lessons this year, and probably one I'm going to keep moving forward. Me and you have said it the past couple of times, but I read it in a book called Valleys and Peaks, or Peaks and Valleys. And the lesson in that book is manage the peaks.
I would have been shocked if you didn't do that based on how many times you've said it this year.
Absolutely.
Which is a great reminder, it's a great lesson, and some great advice to take heed to.
Take heed to manage the peaks. I think it's a thin book that I read, or I listened to the audio book. This had to be September, I think, so towards the back end of this year. But it made sense. It's a simple principle. When you are at the top of the mountain in your life, whether that's a lump sum of money, whether that's the good business deal, whether that's the new job, whether that's the new car, manage that peak. Don't go overboard spending. You get a new apartment. Is the apartment something that you can afford? If not, you need to figure out how to manage that in the best way.
Literally, when it comes to affordance, Jay-Z said it best. If you can't afford it twice, you can't afford it.
Can't afford it. Manage the peak, because the reason why he spoke about, it's the same guy who wrote the book. I just can't think of his name right now. He wrote the book Who Moved My Cheese, that book. It's another business book. But basically saying when you at the top of that mountain, like if you don't manage that peak, the valley gonna hurt. And I hit some valleys this year. And I was like, you know what? Makes sense because I didn't manage the peak I was at. And same goes for the opposite when you're in the valley. Manage the valley the best way so you can get back up to the peak. But when you get back up to the peak, manage it the right way.
And you know what's funny about managing the peak?
Yeah.
When you don't manage it and you get down to the valley, you think about everything you did while you was up in the peak that got you back down this valley. And you're like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
I should have, instead of ordering out, instead of going out, I should have cooked. I should have stayed home. And then when you get back to the peak, sometimes you make them same mistakes and then you catch yourself like, hey, I need to stop before I get back down to that valley, which ain't fun.
Yeah.
And we've been there plenty of times like in life being like, all right, now that we up, we ain't going back.
But we ain't managed.
And then didn't manage the peak. So I think that's such a...
It's simple, too.
It's such a simple concept, but it's so powerful because he said it so much. It's like, whenever I get to the peak, I'm thinking about that. I'm consciously thinking about like, manage the peak. And I'm constantly taking actions that I didn't take when I wasn't managing the peak so I can maintain it. Or say even if it's like, I just ride it out longer and I am going down, it's going to be an easier, gradual.
It's easier.
It won't be a sharp down.
And while you're down, you're like, okay,
I know what I need to do.
I managed enough to where I can keep afloat in this valley while I get back up. And the main thing is in business, realizing that there will always come a downtime. It's inevitable. It's the law of opposites. Where there's up, there's down, there's left, there's right. When you at the peak, you're going to go back down the valley. But how hard and how deep you go back down the valley, that's what's going to really help you. So that's the first one I wanted to talk about.
Okay, so I got 4 in total, yeah. But the first one I'll start off with, I think we may have done a Boss Talk about, but the first one I'll start off with, the only limit we have is the limits we put on ourselves. Like, always push your limits because a lot of things we don't do is because of us. Because of our inner voice, because of us overthinking, because of us getting in our own way. A lot of times we try to put it on other things that's getting in our way, and it's not. It's just us. We try to make up these imaginary obstacles, but it's nothing there.
Yeah,
it's just you.
Yeah,
that's who. Like, go in the mirror and look at yourself. That's who's stopping you from getting to that next level or trying that new thing or taking that leap because you keep talking yourself out of it. Like, sometimes you just got to go as soon as you got the feeling, the idea, and the energy before you talk yourself out of it or before you overthink it. So, perfect example that when I came up with this realization is in Bali when we went surfing. Like, never surfed before. I felt like I could do it. And then eventually I was just picking it up and every time I was going. I was surfing. I was on the board. I wasn't crashing. I was just like, I can do anything. There's no limit to what I can't do, but what I tell myself I can't. And I kept saying it every time I got back to the shore, ride the waves for sure. I can do anything. And that's how I honestly felt in that moment. And that's how I honestly feel now. Like, it may take some time for me to do whatever I want to do. I may have to gather some information. I may need to get some help. I may need to spend some funds. But either way, if it's been done before, I can probably do it.
Yeah.
So why not go for it?
Like how I always say, how I see either high frequency, like working with like big companies like Nike or whoever. Like I truly see high frequency being that big of a conglomerate because we're gonna ride this business out for a little while because it's us. It's a wellness company that feels right, that is right, that's where our life is going, you know. So
where our life has been.
And with us starting this company, it take me back to when you said when we started Dormtainment, are you ready for this 10-year ride? That's how I feel now. I feel like we back at that point. It's like, are you ready for this? It could take to get to where I think it could be successful before that, but to get to where the major conglomerate that I see it going to, it could be another 10.
And the funny thing about every time you bring up, like I said, it's gonna take 10 years. I always think I should have left at that moment.
You got me.
I had to sell it. Got like, he gonna see it coming. He gonna see it coming.
That's funny.
But yeah, you may be right. It may be shorter this time because all the knowledge we gained from the years of doing this first thing.
Yeah.
So it's like naturally, you know what not to do. You look out for things. You see things like, oh, let's not do that. We did that.
Yeah.
And you know, when we started that, it was no capital. It was no resources and nobody.
Yeah, this is a whole
It was
different
just
land.
us. Now we have resources. We know people.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a whole different thing. But the main lesson I learned is once you push your limits, you realize there are no limits.
Yep. My next one I wrote down was bypass the ego and understand the truth. And I just feel like, especially in business and life, like, there's so much ego that goes into just everything that we do. And I think what made me realize that was, of course, the conversation with Mark and with Shady Side Up. And ego, you know, I could be vulnerable with you guys. You guys are here. It's the end of the year. We were holding on to Shady Side Up because for us, or I speak for myself, for me, in my mind, I'm like, well, no, it has other things that we haven't tested out yet. We haven't did certain influencer marketing. We haven't done this. We haven't done that.
Fully and do that, yeah.
Huh?
No, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Fully.
And so ego is like, yeah, well, nah, like it can still do what it needs to do. I need it. But I kind of got to bypass that ego to understand the truth of the situation, the truth of where our lives are going. And the truth is our lives, honestly, wasn't going to where Shady Side Up would have to go because Shady Side Up has to be stationary somewhere. We're not stationary men. We obviously are moving around, and the way we see our lives and our business, it kind of wasn't fitting to where we wanted to go. And Mark had to help me realize that, and I had to step back and look at the truth of the situation, and not the truth that I wanted the situation to be, but the truth of what it was.
And it was funny. I think it was easier for you to let it go than it was for me, for my ego, because I truly like we didn't do everything.
Yeah, we didn't do everything
to fully see the full potential.
Yeah,
but what helped me let it go was the desire for the life I want to create, the life I want to live, where I can be anywhere, anytime, and be running my businesses and functioning my businesses no matter where I am.
Yeah.
So the desire for that lifestyle was stronger than my desire to keep a business that was basically just for ego and namesake.
Yeah.
I did start to love it though.
For sure.
It was fun, and
it's 3 years of work.
Yeah, we did gross over 6 figures.
Yeah.
So, but the way I look at it, when I really had to break it down, like I don't think Shady Side Up was ever meant to break that ceiling and go, because that's not where we were meant to go. I think it was just meant for us to learn some business lessons.
Because we would have still had that in our heart still.
Yeah. I think it was we only did that to learn certain lessons. To get certain experience. To learn how to work with employees.
Meet certain people.
Yeah. That was our first time having employees, actual employees we were responsible to pay.
Yeah.
So things like that, and you know, we always say nothing's a waste. So I feel like it was just a stepping stone to where we going now.
Yeah.
And without that stepping stone, we would have never got to this, because it was because of Shady Side Up we realized this.
Yeah, to be honest.
And we came up with the name for that company from Shady Side Up. So it's like everything serves a purpose.
Absolutely.
So even if you got to close the doors on something or stop something, don't look at it like a failure. Look at it like, this was meant to be to get me to the next level I am going.
And then hearing from actual multimillionaires and friends that we know that's just like, oh yeah, I've started multiple businesses and I had to close it down or do it. It's honestly a part of business.
Jeff Bezos the only one started first business, and that's it.
And that's an anomaly. A lot of people are starting multiple things until they find that thing that takes them to the thing. And then what happens is they sell that business, and then they're like, damn, I still want to chase. I need to start something else. So like it's just the name of the game when you in it as a creator or a business person. So that was my other one. Bypass the ego and understand the truth.
That's a good one. So the next one I learned this year is if you have a strong foundation, you can always build so nothing is a waste. Here we go.
Yeah.
So basically, I got from that is Dormtainment. Dormtainment will always forever be our foundation.
Forever, yeah.
What we did with Dormtainment will forever affect where our lives will go for the rest of our lives. Because everything we got, every relationship we have, every opportunity we ever got started from the foundation of Dormtainment. So, for example, Shady Side Up. We would never started that if I didn't meet this guy and started Dormtainment, because when I met him and we were doing Dormtainment, he said one day he wanted to have a shades company. So it was because of Dormtainment that happened. BossTalk, Dormtainment podcast. That's where that came from. We used to do BossTalk segments on there, then eventually we just separated from Dormtainment. The relationship we have with Mark Monroe came because Joe Lynn knew us from Dormtainment. We got on the show 3 times because of Dormtainment. High Frequency, everything we will do with that will be because of Dormtainment. So once you have a strong foundation, you can always build. You can always build on top of that. So it's important to find whatever that foundation that you building right now, whether that's this new habits, that could be your foundation. Make sure that's strong, because you always have a landing place and a bounce pad at the same time. So that's what I noticed this year. Like, having a strong foundation is important. Like, everything we did with Dormtainment is the cause for everything we're doing now. Like, and that's wild when you think about it.
It's literally wild.
Every relationship, every opportunity, everything, even the new opportunity we have right now is Dormtainment.
Yeah, literally.
Because of Dormtainment.
The people that are in our lives these last 10 years in LA, coming to LA, it's
everything's connected.
I will never ever say anything bad about Dormtainment. It wouldn't YouTube any of that, because it's just like it's the foundation for that changed our lives. So no, you're right. This foundation is key, and I think that I'll flip mine around, because that goes good into my one of my points, which was closing chapters doesn't mean the end of the book, and I feel like that's just a chapter that's closed. Can you go back to that chapter if something comes up? Sure. But like moving forward, I think we're always scared to close certain chapters, because you're like, dang, that's such a big part of my life. And it should be scary. That's change is, embrace change. You guys, it's a scary thing. But when you kind of look at your life in segments, it's like, all right, well, yeah, like I said, that's that chapter is closed, and now we're moving on to the next segment. Next chapter, it's still in the same book. You know what I'm saying? It's still in the same book. So, like I said, you can turn the page and go back if you need to get those lessons, get those things. But just because you close a chapter, it doesn't mean the end of the book. There's so many more chapters to go ahead. It's like them Goosebumps book where you can skip ahead and go like. But it's almost like. It goes back to bypassing the ego. Ego wants you to stay in that chapter, and like, I feel like it's not done. Like, close that chapter, let go of something good, so you can go have something great. You know what I'm saying? And it did what it needed to do, and now it's like, all right, let's let that springboard us to the next thing. For all we know, God's plan was do that, so I can take y'all to where you're supposed to be. I
think the fear of closing the chapter should never outweigh the excitement of what's to come. Like, I love closing the chapter. Yeah. Because that means something new is coming. Something brand new is coming that I don't know what it is yet, but I just know I'm moving forward. Just like 10 years in LA. We'll be moving from LA.
Close the chapter.
That was 10 years to close that chapter. Yeah. It was exciting when we first opened that chapter and got here exciting. In 2013.
We had to close Atlanta.
Yeah, we had to close the chapter on Atlanta. And look at everything that's happened in the last 10 years. So it's like, now we closing this chapter. Yeah. What's going to happen for the next 10 years? Like, that's exciting to me. That's exciting. Way more exciting than me scared to close this door. I can't wait to close the chapter.
Gotta close it.
I can't wait. So you should never be afraid of that. That means you moving forward. Like you actually not stagnant. Like it's a good thing. You making progress. Like you going for it. Like you still on your path if you closing chapters and opening new ones, because that's what life is about. If you look at it as a book, you know, you start with your forward and you start with your table of contents and maybe what's your life gonna be that we don't fully see until the end. Then you got your intro when you first get on this earth, and then you got chapters. You got your childhood, got your teenage years, you got your young adult years, and then you start building chapters. You got your career, you got your wins, you have family, you have kids, you have all these things.
Yeah.
And all of it's exciting. Like life is, a lot of people say life is short, but to me, life is long. Because if you live to 60 years, say this is the average person live to 60 something, that's a long time.
Definitely.
And anyone that say it's not, let me give you 60 years in prison, you be like, you'll start crying because you know how long that's going to be.
That's a long time,
so,
brother.
That's a long life to live, and you should be living it to the fullest and fully going after what you want to do. Like, you should not leave this earth. We saw from David Goggins, get to heaven, and God be like, he started describing a person like this and that. You're a millionaire. You accomplished that. You changed the world. And you looking like, that's not me. And God was like, that's what you're supposed to be. That's what you were supposed to be. Don't let that be you.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
So it's on me?
Yeah, it's on you.
This is my most convoluted one, but I just had to put it together right quick because I just thought it was important. But relationships and the power of charm. And this is the only one I don't have notes on, 'cause it was the newest one. But relationships are everything. Like, the opportunities and the doors that were open just because of a relationship has been wild. But it's not just enough to have the relationship. The reason you have the relationship and it's so strong and people are willing to put their neck out for you and put their word behind you when they're giving you an opportunity through their name, it's because of the person that you are.
Yep.
They know that when they recommend you for something, you're going to do your best.
Yep.
You're going to put your best foot forward, and you're not going to leave a bad taste in the mouth for whoever connected you on this relationship. And then our power together is our charm. Anybody they put us in the room with, we charm them up. We leave them laughing. We leave them smiling. We leave them with a good energy, with positive thoughts about us. So the power of charm too, once you are in the door from the relationship, is so powerful. Like we know when we get certain opportunities that once we in the room, that's it. We closing the deal. More gonna come from it, and nothing comes from it at that moment. Maybe down the road. Like everything we have right now is because of relationships. And we have a saying, especially being in an industry like Hollywood, relationships and good work get you far.
They get you far.
That's what's going to get you far.
Even if you're not talented, to be honest.
More than talent. Knowing the right people and doing good work and being likable going to get you far. That's how I look at French Montana. I don't think he's a good rapper. But he got every major rapper that I do think good on songs with him, or they got pictures with him. They hanging with him. I'm like, this guy has relationships, and he's a good guy. Honestly, he's a good guy because everyone likes to be around him, and they always do favors for him.
I don't hear nothing crazy about him.
So that's my only take, because that's how I feel we are. We have so many relationships that have budded so many beautiful things, but it's also we do our part.
We just went to Portland. That was last Wednesday. When y'all see this, it'll be a couple weeks. But in this example, we went to Portland last Wednesday. Today, Tuesday, so not even a week. The company we went to Portland to see already hit us up because we might have another opportunity because they like it. Just that's how quick things can work.
If we want to use that example, we got the opportunity to even go visit that company on Wednesday because we got an opportunity from our manager saying, these guys will be good for this interview you want to do. So then the head of marketing interviewed us. She loved us, then flew us out to do an in-person talk to the whole company. And during that talk, we had them laughing. We had them tearing up. We left them inspired. And now we got another opportunity because of that. But it all started relationships. It started with our manager. Our manager sent it to the marketing person. The marketing sent it to the CEO. Now the CEO is talking about the next thing.
Yeah.
Relationships charm, good work.
They get you far, buddy.
Get you far in life. So make sure you leave a good impression. Always put your best foot forward. Like, if you gonna go, even if you tired, put your best foot forward. Even like with me, when we doing these things, I don't know if you do this or not, I think of jokes ahead of time. I think of talking points ahead of time.
You got to think of talking points ahead of time.
When they gave
just
us
in case they don't,
Yeah, when they gave us the questions, I let me just have an answer prepared just in case. Like, not to the point where it's like I'm writing paragraph, but this is something that it'll spark my mind, possibly something interesting. It's almost like I used to do that going on dates. I used to make sure like I got some talking points just in case if it's a silent moment, I can pick it right back up. Usually if it's a good vibe, you good. I'm always prepared when I'm going to an event like that.
Come on now.
With that much that holds that much weight.
Come on now. The other one I had, you got one more after that?
Yeah.
Okay. Having a vision is just the beginning. Is a big one, because this time last year we had a vision of a certain goal and we realized, damn.
That's one of the goals that's on my board.
Yeah. We realized, okay. You having a vision is good, but you gotta map that vision out like in the best way possible. Of course, you're gonna have some loopholes, some holes in there, but like you can't just have a vision. Like, that's cool and that's fun. It's like you can dream, but you gotta wake up and you gotta go after it. So I just thought that was a quick lesson that I was thinking about. I was like, yeah.
But give them a little more detail. You ain't necessarily gotta say like, but
so we had a goal to reach a certain
financial goal for Shady Side Up.
It was a lofty goal, and we were like, we believe and had the vision like we can do it. But like 3-4 months into the year, we like, we ain't really like
make a plan,
a solid plan of how ad spend. What are we saving on this end? How are we going? Are we shooting the photo shoot for this? We didn't have none of that.
And when it comes to a goal that big that we were saying, it has to be tangible.
It has to be tangible. Yeah,
we got to make this amount every day.
Yeah,
every week, every month.
It's not happening
to hit this goal.
Yeah,
like to down to that detail.
Yeah.
And when you got every day, maybe every hour, like maybe I got to spend this much to get this amount of people to my site, because I know when, say I get 500 people, at least I'm going to get 3 orders every 500. So maybe I got to spend, if I need 6 orders, maybe I got to get 1,000 people to my site every day to get 6 orders.
It got to
be that detailed when we was going after the goal we was going after. We can't just say it and wish it and believe in it. No, you got to make a plan and take action after it.
Yep. I mean, so that was that one.
That's it?
Yeah, that was that for that one, yeah.
So this was I feel like my most important lesson for this year. And I feel like that's why things are moving, because I felt this way before, but this was the year where I finally stood on it, or was the kids say stand on business. And commit to it. But it's putting myself first and letting go of things that no longer serve me, no matter how difficult it is. I have to be content that I did what I deemed was best. I did enough, and it's okay that I decided to go into another direction without feeling any guilt. So basically, I feel like all my life I've been, and it's not totally gone, and it's not necessarily a bad thing unless it's to the detriment of yourself, but I usually think of others first before I think of myself. Like, I'm a put the group before me type of person. Because I guess I grew up in sports. I guess that's how family values are. As a man, usually you I watched my dad make sacrifices for the betterment of our family. So I always felt like I put the group up, or I put people in front of me for the betterment of everything, for the betterment of everybody. And if someone got to make a sacrifice, I'm okay making that sacrifice.
Yeah.
But I got to the point this year where I was like, you know what? Sometimes I didn't feel like that energy was being reciprocated. Sometimes I didn't feel appreciated because of it. And I was like, it's finally time for me to do something what's best for me and myself, and not care how it affects others. Not necessarily like if I'm doing something that's going to really make them like a negative to somebody else's life, but there's something think about me, put myself first and let everybody else worry about themselves and put the team second or the group second or family second. Like, let me do what's best for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like me doing that has like unlocked something. It's almost like, the best way I can describe it is like when God keeps giving you a lesson over and over and he's waiting for you to make a certain move and you never do. And you let it give it to somebody else, that idea or something, or he wait until you make that move and then he unlock everything. That's what I felt like when I made that decision, like, no more. I'm going to do what's best for me and what I want to do. Things to start happening. Things to start aligning. Things to start moving. I'm like, all right, I feel like I'm on a path where I'm supposed to be going now. And maybe I was meant to be like that just to get to this point, to learn the lessons I needed for this point. So when I do decide to do what's best for me, I go full head of steam without reverting back to the old way.
No is a powerful word.
It is. It is.
It's a powerful word. It can, and a lot of times people take no as negative, but when it comes to you, it can be a positive, especially if you're used to doing stuff for other people. And it's like, nah, I'm just not right now. Today it's gonna be me.
Yeah, because for me, I feel like I just always had a big heart. And having a big heart can sometimes, be a detriment to yourself because it make you look over things. It make you look at everything, through rose-colored glasses. It make you forgive a lot of things that maybe you shouldn't forgive, and make you let a lot of things slide because you love the person or you want what's best for everybody. But right now I want what's best for me.
I feel like my bad. I feel like we both kind of had that lesson because I remember you telling me you were like you was like, because we were talking about a particular individual in person, and you were like, dang, they done made you turn a little cold on them, made you turn a little, and especially for me, because I'm not that guy either, but you got to get a little cold sometime because some people don't learn unless you do that, like, to be honest. Yeah. And that's the tough part. Like, some people just won't learn unless you just take away or say no, or like you're like, all right.
Yeah, I think it's a thin line between doing what's best for someone and enabling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like, I can only look towards me and be like, what's your faults in this situation? Way things are and why you haven't moved to do what's best for you. And once I did that reflection and once I figured out what my purpose is and where I want my life to go, I was like, this is where I gotta do what's best for me. This is where I gotta say no more. This is where I gotta set boundaries so I can reach the goals I want to do. Yeah. Because sometimes it could be things in life that's an anchor. It could be people in life that feel like an anchor. It could be habits that's an anchor. And I guess one of my habits was putting people before me. And right now I got to do what's best for me and best for my business and best for whatever I'm doing moving forward. And I'm not wavering on that. Like, no matter what, I'm not wavering on that. Like, I feel like, and I gave my best. Yep. And I gave everything and I considered everything to a point where nothing could be said to me about my decision to finally put myself first. So, and even if someone was to feel a certain way, it's just like, that's something they will have to deal with. Because I'm content and I know what I've done. I know what I did and I know that I did my best.
And when you got that type of power on you, you be like, oh, it is what it is.
So it just feels like a weight is being lifted off of me. Like, I feel like I'm finally free to fly and discover and soar and do the things I want to do in life, how I want to do it on my terms. And it honestly feels amazing. Like, it almost makes me mad that I waited this long, but I know everything is on God's timing, not on my timing. So this was the time for it to happen. Yep. And I'm not mad at it, and I'm just ready. I'm ready.
Yeah,
my bad. I've been telling Rome all day, I'm ready. I can't stop thinking about it. Like, it's a new energy. It's a new fire that's burning inside of me in my belly, and it's just ready to come out, and I'm ready to attack. I'm ready to conquer. I'm ready to raise people's frequencies.
We want to be the best versions of our life.
I'm ready. I'm ready to do this challenge we're gonna be doing. That's part of high frequency. I'm ready to see where it go. I'm ready to move.
I'm ready for the YouTube channel.
I'm ready for all that. Everything, the new content, I'm ready for the comments.
Everything.
I'm ready for people to say I'm with y'all on this journey. I'm ready for the people to say I'm loving the content.
Let's go.
I'm ready for people to say, man, y'all changed my life. Y'all helped me out. Thank you so much. I'm ready to help people with the percentages we donate to charity or the causes of the people. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready to see people wearing the clothing that reminds you to keep your frequency high.
Wearing well.
I'm ready to see people change their mindsets. I'm ready for it all.
Because what else? It's like, what else? And I don't think people understand. Sometimes when you turn the light on wellness and love and happiness and where you want your life to be, it's hard to turn it off. That's why it's hard to have certain conversations. It's hard to be in certain rooms. It's hard to look at the same things online. It's hard because you just like, I've been exposed. Exposure leads to expansion. We've said that plenty of times. It's a great quote, but it's like, it's true. Like, once you've been exposed, you're like, wait, so my life don't have to be like this. I can make it like this, and then I don't have to. I don't have to keep doing that same thing. I can do this, and when I don't have to eat that, because when I eat this, I feel better. Oh man, I can change my family's life by just like showing them this, and you just like, I can't. It's almost asinine to go back and do it. It's hard to go back, but like you said, it's your choice. It's definitely your choice. But where we are in our lives, looking back at that don't make sense no more. It's like, I like this area. I want to go here. I want to be with these type of people. I want to see what God has for me over there. Like, God did that right there. So appreciate that, God. Now God like, hey, why don't y'all go check out this? But also, when you go to check out this, I'm not going to tell you how you're going to do it. I'm not going to tell you when it's going to happen. I'm not going to tell you all these things. But just know you'll feel good about it, and it's a part of your journey. Or you can stay here and be the same, and you'll have a decent life. But I got this over here. I just can't tell you everything. All right. I guess I got to ride.
And the reason that you have to go in that direction, because you just know that to get to the next level, you got to become a new you. Think about you 10 years ago when we first moved to LA. That's a different person.
It's a different person.
You was eating everything. You was worried about going out. You wasn't reading. You was watching Bad Girls Club. You was just in the thick of things. You were a different person. But now look at you. You reading. You eating healthy. You traveling. You getting things in order.
I'm walking past bad girls at a club.
You walking past bad girls at a club. If you are even in a club.
If I'm even in a club.
It's just like, you seen that you had to do certain things to get to a next level. You seen you had to do certain things to get to a better health. You seen you had to do certain things to mentally be in a better space. You had to do different things to grow a business. These are lessons you have to learn. And once you learn them, it's like you can't go back. Once you're exposed to new information, it's hard to go back.
It's hard.
Like, you look at people talking about certain things online, and like, why are we talking about that? Why are we still talking about men versus women? Why are we still talking about different? Like, I seen Lala talking about, she 40-something years old, asking the question, is sex on the first date cool? Come on, man.
Do what you want to do.
Who cares? If that's what you want to do, do it. Why we got to make a discussion out of that? That doesn't warrant a discussion. It's not needed. What frequency is that elevated?
And granted, if we talking about it, it's because we on a podcast pulling it up because somebody talking about it.
That's a current topic podcast that y'all sent me that y'all know mid-year this year. I struggle with.
Yeah.
Because I was exposed to different things. I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I know how to switch it up for y'all and come do. But I'm not consuming this stuff all day.
Yeah,
like the perfect example, I seen a video. I think I saved it, but it was a dude asking these girls, I think they were 13, bunch of questions. He said, what's 4 times 4? Mm-hmm. Then they would answer something and they'll be wrong. He'd be like, yeah. And then he's like, how many states are there? What's the capital of this state? Like, he was asking them basic things that you should learn in school. They got all of them wrong, but he would like reassure them like they got it right, and they were getting excited. He said, name the Kardashians immediately.
Oh yeah.
They named them all.
Oh yeah.
He said, name something else in pop culture. Named it all immediately. And then he stopped. He said, see what the fuck I'm talking about? This is an issue.
It is. No, that's an issue.
Basic things we don't know anymore, but we know everything about celebrity culture.
Yeah, we can't do a fire. We can't. It's just like life skill, like cars,
Like Mike was, me and Mike was talking about Leave the World Behind.
Yeah.
He gave me the South Park example.
Yeah.
He said the dad came in there because they was all playing video games, the kids,
did
and
that,
Stan
yeah.
came in there like, hey, y'all need to be men. Y'all need to learn how to do things like men did and fix things. Let me show you something. So he take him to the sink or something is broke. He said, this is how you fix it. He gets on the phone and calls someone to come fix it.
That's the world.
We lost those skills.
Yeah.
We so technology dependent.
Yeah.
We're so everything dependent that we don't know basic stuff.
That's why we say if it's shut down, it's over.
Yeah, it's over. But we know everything about celebrities. These kids can name every rapper. Can you name a politician? Not saying, that's the most important thing, but like,
just basic
can you name 5 Fortune 500 companies? Can you tell me about the stocks? Can you tell me about a business plan? Can you show me how to write a check? Can you tell me something about tax?
E-commerce.
Don't know nothing, but know every rap song. Know what every beef is going on. Know every new fashion line that's out. Like, what's up? What are we focusing on? I'm not saying you can't do both. You can know everything I'm talking about and still that. That's
you can,
cool. But it's people so trapped that they didn't make it out yet, out of the matrix yet, that's all they're consuming.
Yeah, nah.
And I was consuming all of that.
Absolutely.
But when I started reading, and the more I kept reading, I realized I want to consume this because I see what it's doing for me.
And it's like, ooh, I feel good. I feel good.
When I did 75 hard, my frequency was so high, and I seen so many blessings in that span. I was like,
absolutely,
this is crazy.
This month alone.
Yeah.
It's been,
but this is confirmation.
Yeah,
that's alignment.
yeah.
So us doing this high frequency challenge at the beginning of the year, I'm excited to see what January
so excited.
Because I know my frequency gonna be high. I'm gonna be focused. I'm gonna be in tune at another level that things are gonna come.
Yeah.
And I gotta be at my best to do what I want to do to give y'all the best to get y'all to y'all best.
Yeah, we already cut out porn. We cut out drinking. Once you start cutting out these things, you be like, oh my life. It feels like stuff getting lifted off of you.
I made a mistake. I slipped up.
Everybody slipped up sometimes. We
You know which one I slipped up on.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah. But I bet in January I won't.
Yeah,
I
but
can't.
that's what I'm saying. You locked in. We men. We have it happen. We're human. But the thing is, it's a conscious decision I want to keep getting better and keep getting better, keep getting better. Mm-hmm. I'll just end it. I have a couple more. I'll end.
That was my last one.
Okay. Which is perfect for this. I said, when I go without, things start to change within. And it's essentially when we went without the music for this earlier this year, like things started changing. You start to either listen to more podcasts or listen to more audiobooks, and things start to change within. When you go without eating certain foods, like you start to change within. It's like, oh, when I remove something, God gives me something on the inside. When I remove something that's external, I get more on the internal. And I was like, that's a thing.
Absolutely. like a big thing I gave up was fast food this year. Mm-hmm. I gave up fast food, and I'm like, I don't need it, man. I did years of eating that. Like, I don't need it. A lot of people be like, a balance. I want this every year. And I'm good. And what made me really definitively give it up was Asia. We was in Asia. It was no fast food like that. I seen one KFC, one McDonald's, and it was so few. It was like maybe I seen 2 of them in 40 days. I'm eating whatever. I didn't crave no fast food. I didn't want that. It's so much better food out there, better for you too. So it's just like when you take something away, you gain something. Like Asia has changed my diet forever. Mm-hmm. It taught me to eat at 80% instead of 100 or past 100 and just stuff myself. And now I got itis and now I'm bloated.
Taught you if you can take a walk after a meal.
Yeah, it's so much stuff that they taught me about my health and eating more organic that I'm taking for the rest of my life.
Come on, man. Community interaction is needed. We learned that in Bali, first Bali trip, and the communities that we built over this year, Bali, Thailand, Japan, communities of like-minded individuals, people that wanted to raise their frequency, people that wanted to learn from us, people that wanted to just travel, and some people that first-time travelers in Bali, seeing how they don't have nursing homes, they take care of their people, they all about community is needed. That's something that's a lesson that I've learned. So if you are around a community of like-minded people, nourish that community and cultivate that community if you don't have one, because I think that's very important, which we've seen over there with the Ikigai in Japan and Okinawa. The community is what keeping people alive. Or there's some people that's how they stay in, because they help each other out. They're bringing each other foods and stuff like that. It's just, I think it's very important.
You know what was my favorite part of travel in Bali was the workshops.
Workshops, great, yeah. Yeah.
When we just said, hey, we got a time slotted, y'all just come talk to us.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to talk about. If you want to vent. If you want to ask about business stuff, ask. If you want to ask about spirituality, whatever it is, like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, to hear from everyone and see where they at in their journey and what I can learn in turn from them, based on what happened in their life or something they can share with me that I didn't know.
Yep.
So it was like, those moments were so powerful, because it's like, we're all here and we're all on the same page. Like, I think you attract who you are, and everyone that came on these trips was in somewhat a part of our energy, which was very cool, because it's like we all came together and had a great time and grew from it and made memories from it, and will forever be changed because of it. So I love having those powwows where we talk, and I know through High Frequency we definitely have absolutely a wellness retreat where that's more concentrated. It's not
I want to do fitness meetups. I want to do all the things, all these stuff.
It's not necessarily about like going out and just having fun. It's more about like, we coming here for a goal. This is how we want to leave. We want to leave better than we got here, and this is where you come and either heal or start the process of finally healing. And so we'll have people, different people there, probably, people teaching yoga, people, therapists there, people that is knowledgeable in certain areas that we feel is important to teach people. So, and that's why I'm so freaking excited.
So excited.
Because this can go so many places. You could collab with so many people, where you could do work with so many companies. You could give back to so many charities. Like, our purpose to raise people frequency. We've been doing it from the beginning, making people laugh, feel better. Then we went to BossTalk, mentally sharing what we've been learning and doing our best to give the best advice and information we could give. Like, and now we putting it all together in one company.
And low key, even Shady side up, just because we inspired, and also we were able to help friends and family out in certain situations because of Shady Side Up. When we didn't, the business helped us be able to help others or bless others and stuff like that. So like, all this has been raising frequency and giving to people, and that's what we want to continue to do. I got these last couple. You're further than you think you are and more blessed than you actually see. And I think that's a big one, because just reflecting back on the past 15 years, the 7 in Atlanta and then the 10 here, the last 17 years, my bad. It's just like, that kid from North Carolina had no idea he'd be here starting his third company, with
a wellness energy
company with people that he loves and communities that he loves, and the lessons that, like, you just gotta look back, you're like, man, some people, and I think what made me realize that is in Bali on our second retreat, one of the homies there, he said, bro, not for nothing, he said, don't take this the wrong way, but he said, I look at y'all and he was like, I would do anything to trade places with y'all, so don't ever think that y'all not doing exactly what you need to do. And that shit hit my soul. I was like, man, that's crazy. You never know how somebody is looking at you like, I would much rather be where you at, even because in your mind you might be like, damn, I want to be further on, but it's like, people looking like, you did it. I seen a comment today, it was like, bro, y'all made it, y'all ain't got to do too much. And in our minds we might be like, but it's like, we did a lot. Niggas have done a lot of things, and we're not it's okay that we've done those things, and now we want to move on to do more, and it's so exciting. And I think what people don't realize is like the creativity now that we've learned and built, we can put that into our creative directing and our own commercials and our own, and our everything we've learned. We know how to shoot, we know how to edit. You know what I'm saying? We still can write scripts, like that don't stop. None of the creative stuff stops. It's just using another form, another media, and who knows, could be using the same media again one day when we are, this company is a huge conglomerate and we got high frequency productions, and now we can shoot a film under, like, it's just so many things that can happen.
I want to bossy back off that, because the reason I love having you as a business partner, outside of you having the strengths that's my weaknesses and vice versa, is what you just said. We're never satisfied. Not in a bad way where it's like you're ungrateful, you selfish, you want more. No, we're just never satisfied on like, this is it, I've done enough. Like we know life is forever evolving. It's forever moving. You're supposed to be forever expanding. So we're never satisfied for just being who we currently are. We always want to grow and stretch and inspire and do more. And we know we gotta grow to help other people grow. Yep. Like, as you said, they would love to switch places. Like, we looking at people like, we would love to be there, but at some point, they were at a lower point. Everyone's at where they at this moment, but that don't mean you got to stay there. And I think that's why we always are doing something. Like you say, our friend told us at dinner, every time he meet up with us at a dinner, we got something going on, something new going on, because we're not satisfied.
I can't.
We're not satisfied for this the regular.
We're grateful.
The norm. We're definitely grateful.
Yeah,
but we're not satisfied for being stagnant.
Mediocrity. I can't.
And we talked about that the other day. I was telling you, stagnation is dangerous in every form. In nature, in business, in nature, you can't drink stagnant water because it's contaminated.
And that's what I said. I was like, and then we made out of water.
We're made out of water.
As soon as you stagnate, your body
you stagnant, you almost poisoning your future. You're poisoning yourself. You're not meant to be stagnant. We're forever meant to be evolving and growing. Like at the beginning of the time, we were nomads. We were moving with the seasons. We were moving with the animals. Yep. We were supposed to be moving forward. So that's what I like about being a partner with you. You're never satisfied, like I'm never satisfied. And because of that, we'll forever be growing and forever doing something. So I know once we sell a company, we're going to be like, all right, that's great. That's amazing.
What's next?
After we get back from this travel.
Absolutely.
After we get back from this travel, what's next?
What's next? Because the only way to leave an imprint is to put your hands in the dirt. Like, so it's just like,
what about your feet?
And your feet, and my feet big, so I put my foot in the dirt. But you gotta touch the, you gotta touch the earth. You gotta keep grinding, keep digging. You know what I'm saying? And you can have your rest along the way. Of course, that's why we said after we get back from out the country. You know, so you have all that, but this is what it is. This is where we at. This is our mentality, and we so passionate about it because we want other people to be as passionate. Like, for the people who are not, that's fine. But for the high frequency people that's listening to this right now, come on board.
Get on this journey.
Comment below. Tell us you on the journey. Rock with us. Like, we want to bring people with us and uplift y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Yeah. Last two. 10X is better than 2X, which is a book I read by Dr. Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. Phenomenal book, because it literally is what 10X is better than 2X mean basically the only way to go 10X is you have to not think 2X. And what I mean by that is like eliminating the 80% to focus on the 20, because that 20 is going to take you to the 10X. So the 80% for us, shady side up, right? The 80% for us is doubling down on Dormtainment stuff. The 80% for us is BossTalk, right, in a sense, because we're moving it and it's moving around. The 20% is high frequency. So in order for us to focus on the 20%, in order to 10x our lives, we had to be able to let go of the 80%. And it just made so much sense because that 80%, it feels good. It feels comfortable. It feels right. That 20% is what's scary.
It's the unknown.
It's the unknown. That 20%, but when you double down on the 20%, that's how you 10x your life. So 10x is better than 2x. You can read the book. It's a great book. But it really showed that, like, he gives an example of this real estate agent that was working at a real estate company, but then she was like, I need to start my company. And that was her letting go of that 80% of working at the real estate company to the 20% of focusing on her own business. And now she owns one of the biggest real estate companies in the world because she focused on the 20%. So 2024 is us focusing on 20%, high frequency, high mind, high body, high spirit, high lifestyle, high frequency. That's what our 20% is. Everything else in the 80, it's just got to be eliminated. And that's for people too. Like the 80% of the people that you might be hanging out with, what's that 20% that's going to help you get to that next level in your business or career? So that's that. And the very last one, which is I think one of the most important ones, and it embodies every one of these that we talking about, just about. I just said action triumphs overall.
Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier. Like, a vision is nothing without the action. Like, you got to put action in. Well, I realize it. No shortcuts.
No.
Like, when people really be saying there's no shortcuts, you just got to put in the work. I fully believe in that. Like, you can't always buy a course and just cut the line, and like sometimes you gotta grind.
Yep.
You gotta put the time in.
Yep.
You gotta put the work in, and that's why one of the things in the challenge that we created for high frequency is that for those 30 days that you're doing this challenge, for 1 hour uninterrupted, you got to work on a new skill, a side business, or something that's gonna grow, something you're gonna learn from and grow from, for 1 hour. So you can't run from the work. You got to do it. You got to put in 30 hours to a new skill, to a side business, to whatever, or goal, whatever that is. 1 hour a day, uninterrupted.
That's pretty much it, man. If you, like you said, if this episode resonates with you and you want to be on this high frequency journey, you can subscribe now. The email subscription is out now to tap in with the community, so you will be first to know when we launch. Our launch is 1/11 at 11/11, or it could be at 1/11. We just trying to figure it out, but it is going to be on January 11th, 2024. So if you want to be a part of the community, go to www.highfrequency.com. Subscribe there. You get all the updates. You'll get the Raise 30 challenge. You get everything you need, and you can make 2024 one of the best years of your life, and then continue that same pattern. Pass it on to somebody. I think what'll help us is if you guys are doing a challenge, make somebody else do a challenge. Like get a friend
and document it.
Share it. Tag us. All the things. Yeah, I think this was a great episode. I'm sure we said we was gonna go long because we knew. And I think that's it, man. We thank y'all for this. If this is the last Boss Talk episode, thank you guys for rocking with us for 4 years.
It was amazing.
But
it ain't going nowhere. It's just switching names.
Yeah, just switching names. But as far as Boss Talk community,
it's that journey, yeah.
Thank you for being on this journey. And now, come on and pivot with us to high frequency. You know what I'm saying? And you will probably see new sets, new assets, it's just we're in the process of literally transitioning everything, so bear with us too, because we want to make sure that it's right and that it makes sense.
And don't be alarmed if you still see Boss Talk continue for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, we got to
official switch, but
got to get everything together.
As the actual show, this is the last one, but you may still have more episodes until we officially switch everything over.
I think last
one of the year.
It's only right to.
This is your midweek pick me up. If you're down, we're gonna pick you up. If you up, we're gonna take you higher, a higher frequency.
There you go. Peace.